limit myself to doing the assignment that you have for your first 2 sessions. So I'm not going to do any inquiry other than what's here now, what are you feeling in your body, and what's your breath like. Okay, so those are my 3 questions, and I'm just going to reflect and mirror so that you will have a sense of what can happen within that framework. Okay. Hi, Catalina.
Hi.
So tell me what brings you, or how you'd like to use this time.
I'm a little confused because I feel like I'm all over the place. There's many different parts that I would like to bring in together. But I'm not sure where to start or how to start. Maybe what I would like is to learn a little bit more about myself in a non-judgmental way. But I don't want to learn about myself just as the observer, because it feels that the observer is distant. I want to learn about myself in me.
So you're right now you're feeling kind of confused, a little bit all over the place, and you want to learn about yourself and all these different parts of yourself in a non-judgmental way, and you're not quite sure how to start.
Yes, I think that's pretty much what I would like to do. But I would also like it to be from inside me, as opposed to the observer in me learning about me. Somehow it feels that the observer is another person, and I would like to integrate those two and see what it feels to learn about me in me.
So you'd like to feel what it feels like in you, not as the observer, but in you. And I noticed you did this gesture, and kind of this gesture pointing in.
Yeah, it's like the fusing of the observer and Catalina, and coming straight to the heart, maybe going straight to the heart.
So it's like, the observer and the inside of Catalina coming straight into the heart. You got kind of teary when you said that.
Yes, I wasn't aware that that's where I wanted to reside. Here. Just reside there. All those pieces of me, the observer, me, all in one big whole.
So you weren't aware
I wasn't.
that when you were pointing to the heart, that observer in you, it's all in there,
And that's where I want to reside. Here. It just feels so vulnerable, right? It's just, my heart is always so closed because life is cold sometimes, and it's hard, and so being vulnerable is scary. It's not scary here with you, but it's closed, and when it's closed, I might not be able to know me.
So it's been vulnerable for you to, in the past, to be in your heart, and now you're noticing as you touch in, it's not scary here with me, but in the past it's been cold and it's been closed when you've tried to be in your heart.
I know how to be in my heart, but I close it because it's the only way to defend myself, I suppose, from coldness or people's agendas or situations. But I don't want that anymore. What if I were able to face all that from the heart? Would I be able to do that?
Wow. So in the past, that's how you've defended, is by closing your heart when there's been coldness. And so this question that you're asking is, what if I didn't have to do that?
Would I be able to survive it? Would I be able to be me and still be strong?
Yeah. Would I be able to survive it, be me, and still be strong?
But I really want that. If you can help me do that,
Mm.
oof.
Yeah, so you smiled just now when you said that.
It's
But
that.
if I could help you do that, whew.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
it's that there's the possibility.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it opens up possibilities
Mm.
and a different life and a different perspective. And I mean, I'm closer to my death than I am to my birth in age. So for me, time is of the essence. I want to live every minute, every second, every day, and learn. I don't regret the past. I just want to, the same way, integrate my past with the future of possibilities and living life from a different angle.
Mm. So you want to live your life from a different angle. You want to look at your future possibilities, that time is of the essence to you, and that there's more of you're closer to death because of your age. There's more of you that's passed, and you're closer to, so there's this recognition or realization of urgency.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know if it would be so much like urgency, but it's a longing. It's a longing to have a complete life before I go. I mean, I might go tomorrow, might be run by a bus, who knows? But if that were the situation, to feel when I'm about to pass or to die, to feel that I've had a complete life and that I did what I had to do. And I think that one of my biggest missions in this world, other than give, is to really get to know myself, because I cannot give if I'm not me.
Yeah. So there's a real longing that you're in touch with, there's a real longing to live from this place. This gesture I've been noticing, of coming back towards your heart,
It's my heart wants to give out. But I want it to give out purely. And sometimes I don't know what complete purely means.
So you want to give out purely, and you don't know what complete purely means. Your hands, again, they went to your heart. Yeah, that was quite a breath there.
Yeah, many times my energy just stays here. So somehow when I think when I put my hands here, is to help it move to the whole body.
So
Maybe
sometimes when you put your hands here, it helps
it
your
push
energy
it back to my bottom part of my body, which almost seems that this from my waist down, it's non-existent.
So when you put your hands here and you push down, it brings your breath down into
it integrates
body. It integrates it.
Somehow. I wish I could remember that as I go in life, it's
You really smiled when you said that. Like, you got this big smile on your face right now. Like, oh, I wish I could remember that. And you've got your hands on your heart.
It's because it's like a glimpse of enlightenment. It's like, oh, there are possibilities. Or it's if I could just seize that all the time, wouldn't that be fantastic?
Yeah.
You could just go through life with that cloud, that beautiful light in both ways, light, L-I-G-H-T, and light, as in very light of weight.
Yeah. What's your breath doing right now?
It's moving. It's actually moving. It wasn't moving when I first sat here. I was a little nervous.
And it's moving now. As you talk about it, enlightenment and light, and you did this like gesture of light. And your breath is in movement right now as you talk about the possibilities.
My heart seems open.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel tight. It doesn't feel constricted. It doesn't feel embarrassed to share this. And so that brings lightness, and it's. I have these little moments, and I just wish I could hold them for longer.
that brings tears. The longing to hold it longer brings tears. Yeah. And a big breath followed that. Yeah.
You know, talking about this is almost like seeing glimmers of possibilities within myself. I wonder if I'm the one that's self-imprisoning myself. I'm saying there's no possibilities. You know, because this feels like opening the cell door.
This is like opening the cell door. As you talk about it, there's like glimmers of possibilities, and also the other, which is the wonder of, am I limiting myself?
Or how much I've limited myself throughout my life with assumptions of self-imposed punishments and judgments.
So there's that wonder of, wow, have I been limiting myself with self-imposed judgments? Imprisoning, I think you said imprisoning myself.
Punishing me.
Punishing myself. Yeah. That's a wonder. So I'm going to see if I can kind of summarize at this point what you've laid out here so far. Okay? You sat down with this question of longing, like longing to be more in your heart more of the time. And what would it be like to integrate, and some confusion about how to integrate this longing that you have. And as you talked about it, we noticed this gesture of coming towards your heart and touching into your heart. And and as you became aware of that, and this other gesture sort of happened of this pushing down and this breathing, that somehow that there was a way of integrating that you began to notice that happened by breathing and pushing down and touching into your heart, and then bringing that down. And then you noticed the energy started to move. And you talked about, from there it seemed to bring you to this lightness and enlightenment, and you did this gesture like this, and that sort of brought out this the two sides here of, have I been self-imprisoning myself with judgments and self-punishment? And then look at this, how by touching my heart and the way I'm breathing and doing this pushing down, I'm experiencing lightness and possibility, and this big smile came across your face, and this feeling of longing of what could be possible for me.
That's pretty much how I feel. I like how you mentioned, I had not realized the integration of the breath and the heart and the whole body. That what clicked to me right now is when you say that, when I mentioned that my breath went in and I was able to connect my lower body to my upper body. When that connection occurs, then the glimmers of possibility happen.
Yeah.
So maybe there's
Wow.
something connecting between my breath, my body, and the possibilities.
Wow, I love these two gestures. This, the connection, and this.
Yes.
Yeah.
So maybe I don't have to try so hard, just remember to breathe. Maybe that's the first step.
Beautiful. So maybe that is the first step. Yeah. Thank you. We'll stop here for now. Your biggest hindrance is going to be your self-doubt around trusting the process and letting go of your agenda. And that's the part that takes a little practice. And that's what you're going to practice. You know, and if you want to practice you're going to practice in just a couple minutes. You're going to get to practice that. And I was a little nervous because I'm on camera and I'm trying to stick to the script and I can't, I got to do, I had to a little bit censor myself, or not censor, but limit. I wanted to limit and try to stay as pure to what can happen here, because it's really, and so much happened within the confines of that. But I gotta tell you, it will happen. It might, especially for people who are not students, who will come oftentimes in their intellect. You will take them so quickly out of their intellect. And this is where therapists, so many psychotherapists, as you guys especially know, hang out for a whole hour after hour, after week, after week, after year with their clients in their intellect. And they don't do, and if you drop them down into their body, into their breath, if you're observing the gestures, now not every gesture is of consequence, right? I didn't name the gestures that were, I was selective on what gestures I wanted to name that were because you're gonna know it. You're gonna see them. You're gonna see the significant markers that you want to bring to your client's attention, because they're going to help them connect to themselves. That takes a little practice, but just trust the process. You got 4 questions, physical observations. It's going to feel a little like you're groping around, but just keep coming back to that script, and stuff will happen, and you're going to sit there and go, oh my God, look what's happening to my client. And I didn't do anything but tell them that they moved their elbow up in the air. And they're going to go, oh my God, I did. And wow! And then they're going to be sitting there going, oh, you're crying now. And you're going to be really curious about that. And I'm telling you, it works.